Hello and welcome to Paranormal Path. Hello, special Halloween one. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good. That's good.
Tired.
I'm good.
We're good.
Bit of a crisis, but there you go. Nothing like going to do the tech at the minute and then you like flick a button and everything gets massive and you can't actually see anything. But hey ho, all good. So yeah, the night before Halloween.
Yes,
And
indeed.
Wayne's been decorating his garden, and Nick's decorated his house, and Helena looks all spooky, and Mandy, and then Mark,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
then
take that
look
off.
at
Spot on.
Wayne. Can't see his face. That's an improvement, isn't it? All right, Wayne.
I thought it. I didn't say it.
Let's into it right away. Yes, spectacular. All right. So tonight we're just going to do a little bit of Halloween, a bit of customs, and a bit of spookiness, really. So Halloween is actually based on something. Got a pagan background, hasn't it? And I've got Mandy and Helena who will speak a bit about that. So let's introduce everyone first then. So I've got Mandy West. So Mandy, who are you then?
Oh, I am many things. I in this capacity, the witch is familiar. I offer a magical items and magical axe service with my friend, and we do spell crafting. Yeah, basically just a bit of everything, trying to help people bring a bit of magic into their lives. I know it sounds corny, but that's what we go for.
Oh, bless you.
And I'm the
And
haunted historian as well.
The haunted historian, and that's kind of how I met you, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So
Yeah.
you got your partner on board, Patience as well. Hiya.
Yes, hello,
Hi.
bye.
Hi everyone for watching. Thank you. And then we've got Wayne.
Hello.
So we've got Wayne from Spookinori. Amongst other things.
That hello
Yes.
is very posh.
Amongst other things, Truth Beyond Paranormal, the Dark Mirror radio show, and various bits and bobs.
Are you on next after this show?
Unfortunately, not tonight.
Oh, okay. So can we over a bit then?
Yeah, Mark's not feeling too well. My fellow care host, he's not feeling too well tonight. He's got a migraine developed, so
Oh gosh.
we've opted for going for a pre-record. So we're going to put that on at 9:30 instead. So
yeah, I might hit into it maybe.
so it's taking it. Well, today's taking its toll on me as well. Getting all the Halloween decorations out the front and getting everything set up for tomorrow. It's
yeah.
my back's decided to play up for the first time in 2 weeks. So it's
Bless you. You've done so much though, haven't you? Your garden looks great so far.
it's not finished yet. That's the worst part of it.
Oh wow.
Nowhere near finished.
I hope it's rainproof because we've got torrential rain here.
Yeah, I mean, one of my neighbours went out walking her dog earlier on, and she said, "You're going to have fun with all this, lot, aren't you?" I said, "Why is that?" She said, "We're supposed to be getting rain soon." And I'm like, "Please don't tell me that. Not after I've set all this up."
Oh,
And she went, "Well, no, it's not supposed to be until early hours of Wednesday morning." I'm like, "But that's all right then."
It's absolutely tanked it down here. We're getting showers, so yeah. Fingers crossed for you.
No,
yeah,
everything at the moment's waterproof, so
that's good.
I'm going to leave anything that could get damaged through the rain. That will go out last thing. So.
All right. Yeah. So how many you got coming round then?
Last year we had about 100 children turn up.
Oh wow!
And because word has got out, I mean, it was a last-minute thing last year because normally the local primary school, they normally do a map for the children of all the houses that are taking part in Halloween.
Oh, got you, yeah.
And they give them to the children at the school, and then obviously on Halloween night they follow the map. And we didn't go with the map. We didn't tell the school that we were doing anything. But because we're en route to the school, most of the children that go to the school have to go past our house anyway. So they saw everything going up last year. And we must have had 100+ children last year, and we're expecting more this year because words got around very quickly.
Oh, awesome. That's brilliant.
But,
So because you did it so well last year, they're like, yeah, we'll go to that house.
yeah, and it's been the
Oh.
same every year. We've had to up our game every year, and we've had to do something better.
Yeah.
And this year I'm doing the Devil's Footpath.
Ooh.
So I put two what do you call them? Marquee tents.
Yeah.
Gold things up. Put 2 of those down my driveway, and I've put spider strands hanging
Awesome.
down the front, so they've got to walk through these bits of cotton, which obviously freaks them out to start off with.
Yeah.
And then we've got an old brick wall fabric put down the sides. I've got banshees, skeletons, a scary owl, and various bits and bobs. Then tomorrow during the day, I'm going to waste an entire bottle of tomato ketchup and splattering it all over the driveway, so it looks like blood, and it'll all be sticky and horrible.
Nice.
Have fun cleaning that up.
Yeah. The good thing is I've got a pressure washer, so that's been the best part of it. I can
Oh,
just
Don't need
hose
to
it
if it
down.
rains.
Yeah, this is what you need, a dead body.
Oh yes, I've got the dead body in the middle of the garden.
Awesome.
I've got a severed head in a rose bush, and that's covered by some bloodied gauze. I've got body parts all over the place, but the best thing was my front garden is all gravel, and I took 2 days taking all the gravel off. I put LED lights all around the garden,
Wow.
and then put the stones back on top.
Ooh.
So the lights come through the stones, and then I put the gravestones in and the body parts around the garden as well. So now when you light it up, you put the lights on, all the lights come up through the stones, they're lighting up the body parts and the gravestones. And then just to top it off, I've got a fog machine.
Awesome.
So
I want one of them.
I have one.
Throws the fog out
So do
into
I.
the garden, and it just makes the atmosphere 10 times better.
Oh, brilliant. I have one. I used it in my pub once, and I had to get out of the pub. Couldn't see nothing.
I tested it in the garage. I got it a couple of years ago, and I tested it in my garage, and the whole garage just filled up with fog, and you could not see a thing. I'm like, I think I better open the garage door, but I had to find it first.
Yeah, I'd got CCTV across from a pub door, so I was scared in case a fire engine arrived because I had all this bloody smoke coming out of the pub. Like, oops. Right on the corner as well of the main street. Like, oops. Yeah. Nick, welcome, Mr. Halloween. How are you?
Been doing really well. I know it's been a while, but being on this one, but yeah, I've been doing great.
Oh, you have to come on the Halloween one.
Of course I have to. That's like a requirement.
Oh, wow. So Halloween for you is massive, isn't it? When did you start your decorating?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen that I decorate obviously for other holidays, but when it comes to Halloween, this is probably the one that is the most amount of stuff I got.
That's awesome. So you do a few podcasts, you do a few shows of your own, don't you?
Do 5 of them total. One of them, of course, with Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, do Tuesday nights. I do Fear Fans with my friend Don Elmy, who actually lives in the same area I do, along with Jill Jade. And then on Wednesday afternoons or evenings now that it's starting to get darker earlier, I do my own show, Fear Fans. Thursday, that's when I do To the Grave and Back with Lois, Wayne, Rosie. And later that night, then too, is Supernatural Talk with Jeremy, Eileen, and Adrian. And then Friday, I have The Frighteners with, once again, Lois, Brian, Ian this time. So I'm just all over the place.
Oh, you love it. You're just brilliant, you know. But Halloween is your time, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Is it more than Christmas to you?
That's, That's probably how we sometimes describe it. Almost, it's like this is like my Christmas. I even sometimes even see it more. I see it even more important than my own birthday celebration.
Oh wow! Oh, cool. Sounds brilliant. And your clocks are changing. Wow, is it next weekend?
Oh, the decorations or
Your clocks.
the
It's
clock.
dark already
Yeah,
now.
no, I'm sorry. I'm not sure when the clocks are supposed to.
Yeah.
Well, I know about that it's going to change. I'm not sure exactly
Yeah.
when our clocks are changing. I
That
honestly thought it was going to be around.
so,
I really thought it was going to be like around the same time. Honestly,
no, it always screws up the schedules, but
I
hey,
know it does. It really does.
poor Jeremy. Right, and we have Mark. How you doing, Mark?
Hey, I'm good, thanks. How are you all?
Oh, we're cool. Like Mark is, if you're out investigating,
Yeah.
you've got Mark behind you, you've got protection. Except when there's some strong spirits around, it's good, isn't it?
Oh, it's just amazing.
We've had some incredible weird nights.
It was pretty good at the galleries.
Yes, that was
That was just amazing.
Yeah.
And Ashwell Prison as well was another good one. We worked together.
That's right. Ashwell was, we were getting quite a lot with Kaz as well. And I think it's when you combine different energies. You get certain people working together, it can just go off a route, can't it?
Oh yeah. All the people I work with are just incredible. We get along so well.
That's it. You have a laugh, and it raises the energy.
Absolutely.
I mean,
a few weeks ago I was at Whittlesea Museum in Cams, and in a few weeks' time I'll be at Sharnbrook Theatre in Bedford. My first visit there, so looking forward to it.
Theatres to me are so magical.
So I'm not going to wait.
I am as well.
There's always one has to steal the show.
Oh, I know.
But did you notice he never said anything? So clearly the person went wrong number and hung up.
And we have Helena. How are you?
I'm good.
So,
Tired, but alive, if that counts.
who's Helena? You're the mother of two beautiful sons.
That are nightmares.
Who sort of keep you on your toes.
Oh, they do. Especially Bowie, because he sees dead people, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I've just seen videos, and he's just been feeding them, hasn't he? It's so
Been trying
incredible.
to feed them pizza.
So yeah,
But he's like me, so that's fine.
yeah, that's it. So
But-
you understand it, and that's cool.
Yeah. I've taught
Great.
him not to be scared of them.
Yeah,
He'll talk to them, he'll play with them, he's fine.
yeah, that's brilliant. It really is. So shall we go on to what Halloween is about, and shall we go on to the beginnings then? So if we start with you, Helena, because you told me quite a bit about the pagan side and things the other day.
Yeah. I was brought up with a druid family and a pagan family. So we were told as a child basically where Halloween should come from and what it should mean. And with Halloween, it wasn't all about evil spirits and everything like that. It was basically a celebration to say goodbye to spring and summer and to bring in the winter spirits so the trees could sleep. And when nature sleeps, next year you'll get a good crop. So Halloween to us was basically a celebration of, it's the end of summer.
Yeah.
But that was also roughly the time when they decided to talk to their ancestors through their seers and their soothsayers, whatever you want to call them. So they did drop the vow around this time, which is why I hate this time of year, just so everybody's aware. I hate this time of year. It's both amazing, but it's also loud.
Yeah.
And I mean very, very loud. And because they dropped the vow to talk to their ancestors to get advice for the next year, it was never the amount of times and as often as they did it, it sort of stopped it from coming back up completely. So now it's just regular for the vow to drop.
Yeah.
It doesn't disappear completely, You know, ghosts aren't going to start banging down your door and shouting at you. They're not going to start doing that, but they will get really pushy and they do get louder.
Yeah. But that's if you're connected, isn't it? More than anything.
It is. It's annoying, but it's an amazing celebration. And then the tradition changed, and people started dressing up and asking for favors. But the thing is, you're asking for treats, so you're asking for favors from people. Whereas in tradition, you were the ones to give the favors to the spirit.
Oh wow, okay. I know. Like I did a voodoo doll, and you have to feed them, and I guess it's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to feed. But yeah, that's
Is your head getting hot there, Wayne? I heard that get stuck to your face and pulled it.
It's even worse when you've just shaved.
Ow! Didn't need to shave, did you? It just comes out with it.
Oh, sorry, carry on.
All I heard was.
Oh, madness. Oh, wow. So
that tickled me. It was the suction noise that did it for me.
So, Mandy,
Hello.
so what is your thoughts on Halloween then?
I was brought up in a family that always celebrated it, more in the way that you would expect, where it's parties, it's dressing up, it's spooky tales. We never had trick-or-treaters at our house though, because my dad every year would make a point of setting up. He'd kind of groom us for a couple of weeks and tell us that some distant relative was coming to stay on Halloween, and you know he'd build the tension, and then he would dress up on the night, and the screams would be that bad. We'd never get trick-or-treaters. No one would ever come near the house. The only person who was ever in the loop was my sister. My mother wasn't even aware of what was going to be happening. And the one year he dressed up as Michael Myers, and he got. See, it shows how old I am. We didn't have smoke machines. We had smoke matches that made smoke. So he was at the bottom of the garden with these smoke matches on the go, coming out of it, dressed as Michael Myers, even with a knife. And we laugh about it now, but I didn't at the time, because my mom literally grabbed me, pushed me out the back door and locked me out. So I'm sort of 10 years old and hysterical. And I actually learned to hate Halloween. The only time I would relax is just before I went to sleep. As soon as it kicked into the 1st of November, I'd be panicking again about what he was going to do next year.
Oh my God.
But then the older I got and the more spiritual I got, the more I saw it. I think there's a sense of smell and a sensation to Halloween where you, as Helena said, there's the veil. You can almost feel the veil lifting for me. So much like with Helena, it's for me now, it's less to do with the commercial side and it's more to do with ancestors. Obviously, my work, The Haunted Story, means that I'm very big on remembering people and bringing them back and telling them their names and hearing their stories. And to me, that's what Halloween is about. We sit down, we have a meal. I've always got an ancestors altar anyway, but we just sort of talk and celebrate people. And, you know, there's people that have passed who my daughter never got to meet because she wasn't born, but I make sure she's aware of them. And I do think that in some capacity she did meet them before she was born, you know, so it's almost, for me, it's a celebration of people who've gone on and welcoming people back, albeit for a short while. So, yeah,
I mean, because the veil's lower and it's not as thick, it's easier for them to come through as well. So with spirits that are, I'm going to say new spirits, it's not as difficult for them to come and say hello and communicate because it's lower, whereas normal times of the year, it takes more energy than you'd realise to talk to people. So for them, it's not just one night either, it's usually like the week where it's dropped and it's lower. It's not just, you know, it's the 31st, that's it, game over. It's not that. It's like the week of and a few days after, where it's not as hard for them to talk to you. So you do end up with new spirits and family that have passed away recently that just want to come and say hello, and it's a beautiful thing when, because I'm teaching Bowie and Casper, the whole point of Halloween isn't the big commercial going out and partying, it is to remember people. And
yes, 100%, I'm with you on that. I mean, like you said, I think you can kind of feel the tension building as it gets closer, and I think maybe because we're more aware of who has passed, that gives them the energy to draw closer and to lift the veil, possibly. But like you said, that this is an enhanced time to do it, but I think if you're willing to focus and effort, you can do it any time of the year, you know, bring them forward and celebrate them.
Easier for the spirits. It does make it easier for them.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing, and like with my kids and stuff, I've taught them not to be scared of spirits and not to be scared of death, and to understand it, because it's not the end of everything.
No. Yeah, I think all of us have had encounters, so that we know, you know, all of us on here have had paranormal encounters. Well, encounters we can't explain, let's say. But yeah. That's a strange one last night, but yeah. But yeah, it's just incredible. So, like, my Halloween, I just didn't do anything. You know, I didn't know about it really. It's just another day. And then when I got a pub, it was then I started doing the parties and things. So obviously with a pub, it's a big day, and it was actually my favourite day of the year in the pub. So yeah, to decorate and just, yeah, it was brilliant. Great big pub. But yeah, Nick, what about you then?
For the most part, it's usually been pretty traditional. Of course, when I was younger, we used to, you know, like most kids like in this stage, we used to go trick-or-treating, you know, throughout the neighborhoods. Although I think our times of trick-or-treating was certainly different than what it is now, because first off, I think we had a better opportunity to do it like a lot longer compared to now. Because like, especially if it was like on a Friday or Saturday night and we didn't have to worry about the next day. I still remember like 20 years ago, there was one time when we must have trick-or-treated till about 11 o'clock at night or midnight. And the neighborhoods, you know, back then neighbors were having fun with it too. So it was great. But unfortunately nowadays that doesn't happen anymore because of these damn curfew laws. Like nowadays it's only between through like 3 to 7 p.m. or if you're lucky enough, maybe up till 8 p.m. depending on where you are. So
really? Tell us more. We're not even aware of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We don't have curfews.
We don't have curfews. We can do what
we just do what the hell we like.
Yeah, and I envy you guys for that.
Even like fireworks, people just do it when they like. It shouldn't do, but they just don't give a monkeys.
I wish I could say the same. Yeah, they've been doing that. Started. See, it didn't really happen for at least the years that I was doing it, but I do. But by the time I was getting into like my mid-teens or so, I think they started implementing these curfews. Even if we didn't have to worry about school the next day, they still put it up anyway. So it was. And I often usually tell people, I don't know, but to me, it just isn't the same as what it used to be. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. Of course, it's a much longer story for the reason behind it, but you know,
yeah.
But it's not.
I guess some of the movies kind of didn't help.
Yeah, and you know, it's not only just that, of course. You know, when it comes to like Halloween, not just the trick or treat. I mean, a lot of friends of mine, we often come together, obviously, to talk scary stories and also like watch as many horror films, paranormal shows, of course, as we can. And then, of course, the last couple of years, I've made at least one, try to do at least once a year during this time is either going to like a Paracon or even doing an investigation if given the opportunity. So really a lot of the classical tradition, but in a way we kind of are, doing the same thing as far as like if we're doing an investigation to honor those who passed away, give our most found respect. So, and we do that as, in fact, believe it or not, today is kind of one of those days, believe it or not, because my my grandfather passed away 23 years ago now, on the day before Halloween, obviously. So this is like a time to remember, you know, in that case for him, because I only got to know him for a couple of years before he passed away.
Oh, I see. Oh, bless you. Yeah, it's my nephew's birthday today.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he missed Halloween. How annoying.
Yeah.
Wish he'd have waited.
That's frustrating because Barry should have been born on Halloween, but he
Oh,
wouldn't
wow.
come out.
Oh, bless you.
I spent ages trying to evict him and it weren't happening.
Oh, bless you. Mark, what do you do for Halloween then?
I see Halloween. I guess I'm like Helena. I see it as a celebration, the end of summer, and we're changing the seasons into autumn and winter. It's the witchy festival of Samhain as well,
Yeah.
which I do celebrate. But I've never really been brought up with what Halloween was all about. And I forgot what I was going to say. That's awkward. That's it.
Wayne's
I mean-
putting you out.
Probably Wayne, yeah, put me off.
No, Wayne.
As you know,
It's quiet.
as kids, it used to be fun just going out trick or treating. You know, till whenever. There was no curfew or anything like that. You know.
We just didn't do it. I was too old, I guess. You know, because
I mean,
when I was a
my,
kid,
my granddaughter's going out tomorrow. You know, trick or treating.
Oh.
She's only 3.5.
oh wow.
Start them young, I say.
Oh, bless
But
you.
you were talking about Halloween birthdays. My cousin's birthday was actually yesterday, so she's missed out on Halloween by one day.
Oh wow. Oh bless. It's a bugger though because you can't book a park. It's hard to book a party. Like if you want a big party for your birthday, it's, you know, Halloween kind of screws it up as well, doesn't it? Because a lot of the locations are all booked up. So yeah, you would have that to go back. And what about you then, Wayne?
It was awkward as a child because my mum and dad didn't believe in Halloween.
Yeah.
They had the typical attitude of, oh, it's an American tradition.
Yeah, that's
you
my mum and dad, yeah.
And so we weren't allowed to go out trick-or-treating, and we didn't have trick-or-treaters come knocking on the door. You know, I would sort of be the opposite side of the trick-or-treaters. I would sit, we've got, my front door is like an extension. It sets out from the main house. And I would sit on the roof over the door and wait for trick-or-treaters, purposely to scare them.
Oh, wow.
There's
They go and knock on the
nothing
door,
wrong
and the intention would be to pop my head over the edge and go, "Whoa!" and make jump.
There is nothing
But
wrong with that.
They never turned up. And it was so infuriating because we had no trick-or-treaters. And I said to my Ellen that, you know, when we move back to my mum and dad's house, that's it. Halloween will be coming here. And every year we've just got bigger and better every time. And now we're down here. We've introduced Halloween back to this estate. And
That's
now
cool.
there's scores of people doing it. And, you know, and although I'm like most, it's about celebrating the dead and the people that had passed over that you knew.
Yeah.
But for me, Halloween is all year round. My Halloween is all year round.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the same thing with me, too. It's like, as someone who's big into horror and all that kind of stuff, I think me, every day is Halloween.
Yeah. Well, what we do, you know, like all the newspapers are suddenly going, oh, ghost stories. Well, you know, every Friday, Saturday, you know, at least once a week, I just go out and like,
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at having my our garage converted into a mine and Ellen's bedroom. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm having one section is going to be my writer's corner for my spookanories. and that is going to be decorated with all of my horror stuff, all my little statues and my little pictures and paintings and things like that I've got
I'll
of
have to
all my
send you
horror
some
stuff.
of my creepy art.
Yeah, so and that's going to be my little corner to have, and that's my man cave. So I'm literally 365 days a year Halloween, me.
I'm going to send you creepy art for your man cave.
Okay.
Helena is brilliant at art. I just love your drawings.
I used to be. I haven't done much in a long time, but I sort of tend to do diamond paintings.
Oh, do you?
I did two of the nun. Done two of the nun for Halloween. So
I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but this is my recent one. Oh wait, where's my camera?
Oh my gosh, love it.
Eee. That's cool.
That's creepy. I love that.
Annabelle the movie and the real version, and Robert from the movie and then the real version.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Love it. Wow. So I got a question here from Irene. What happened to your sexy dress?
Violet LeBonc had to have her toes waxed.
I mean, we want the sexy dress, so
I'm just hoping Violet LeBonc never ever shows up ever again.
Oh, she's got to come through for the Christmas version. Like this time last year, I'm sure I mentioned trying to do a panto. It'd be good to do a Paranormal Path panto, wouldn't it?
That'd be hilarious.
Yes. It never happened, did it?
No, because I'm rehearsing, but this time the panto is before at the end of November, which gives me longer to actually do something. But I'm trying to get my book out as well, so there's that in there. So one day never. But yeah, I've got someone to read through it now, so I'm getting somewhere. But yeah,
I'm glad you are. I'm still trying to write mine.
Well, oh my gosh,
I'm trying.
I thought mine was finished in 2022. To be fair, but I had an issue. Well, yeah, I'd kind of done most of it. I had an issue with my past life, and actually, it might have been solved. I don't know. There's just something which I couldn't finish the book off for some weird reason. But now it's all done. So shave or wax then, Wayne?
I don't know because I'm not present when she hasn't done so.
No way. So I think it's time for spooky stories then. So who wants to start?
You know, it's funny you brought that up because I just realized, because what I did, the reason why I had to go off for a few minutes, I realized I left my book that I was going to use to read some of the scaries. I went up the scary stories. I had to go upstairs quickly to retrieve them.
Oh, that's it. So shall we start with Nick then? With his scary story.
Well, I actually got two books. One of them is a really short one, but this one, however, is my personal favorite. Some of you guys might be familiar with this book. You guys familiar with this one?
Oh, yes.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Wow. So turn your lights off, everybody.
This is a book I read every October, and I'll be honest with you, this book used to scare the living daylights out of me. Like if you met me like 15 years ago, I would have said back then I would have never purchased this book. But now apparently I have a copy of it, and it's a big favorite of mine. So oh man, let's see here. I should have, you know what I should have done was I should have looked at this book ahead of time to figure out what stories I'm going to read.
Bless you.
You know what? Let's go with, okay, because they're all short stories. So why don't I start with a story? It's called The White Wolf. So it's kind of a ghost story, but also obviously like a werewolf story too. All right, so bear with. Okay, here we go. So as I just said, this story is called The White Wolf. The timber wolves around French Creek had gotten out of hand. There were so many wolves, the farmers could not stop them from killing their cattle and sheep. So the state put a bounty on them. It would pay $110 for every wolf pelt he turned in. A butcher in town named Bill Williams thought that was pretty good money. He stopped working as a butcher and started killing wolves. He was good at it. Every year he killed over 500 of them. That came to more than $5,000. It was quite a bit of money in those days. After 4 or 5 years, Bill had killed so many wolves, there were hardly any left in that area. So he retired, and he vowed never to harm another wolf because wolves had made him rich. Then one day, a farmer reported that a white wolf had killed 2 of his sheep. He had shot at it and hit it, but the bullets didn't have any effect. Soon that wolf was seen all over the countryside, killing and running, but nobody could stop it. One night, it came into Bill's yard and killed his pet cow. Bill forgot about his decision never to harm another wolf. He went into town the next morning and bought a young lamb for bait. He took it out into the hills and tied it to a tree. Then he backed off about 50 yards and sat down under another tree. With his gun in his lap, he waited. When Bill didn't come back, his friends started looking for him. Finally, they found the lamb. It was still tied to a tree. It was hungry, but it was alive. Then they found Bill. He was still sitting against the other tree, but he was dead. His throat had been torn open, but there was no sign of a struggle. His gun hadn't been fired, and there were no tracks in the soil around him. As for the white wolf, it was never seen again.
Wow. Creepy. I thought Wayne was doing a striptease. Awesome. So I've got a story, and it's been sent in by Carl Hodgson, who's watching. Hi, Carl. Great friend. So it was Christmas Eve, 2021, 1 p.m. They had 2 hours just to take a trip around Smithills Hall, a very spooky location in Bolton. He was just going to walk around, but as he got to the front door, he realised it was open. He went in. He was actually the first visitor of the day. He's been there loads of times and loads of ghost nights where the spooky souls would come out and haunt him. But he decided to go in and pay to go in. While he was walking around looking at the pictures on the wall, a face stood out. And it just drew his attention more than any other. And from that moment, somebody was following him around. It wasn't a member of the staff. There were so many rooms in the hall, and he went in each one, but he was being followed each and every step. And then he went into the green room. They had a red rope to stop you from going to the exhibits. It started swinging for no reason. And as he walked towards the door to leave the room, he turned his back and looked back, and it was swinging again, even more. So what moved it? But then things continued. So he left the hall and went out into the garden and walked around. And there's an old gentleman in front of him with a kind face. He just appeared from nowhere, and he walked along as though, he just walked along, getting on with his business. But something was puzzling Carl. And as the guy turned the corner, he saw his face. It was the face of the guy in the picture. He was a gardener who died in the 1890s. And he was dressed in Victoria clothing. And he just vanished into thin air. True story. Thank you, Carl.
That was brilliant.
Wow.
I did change it slightly, Carl. But we did, yeah. But that's Carl's story. So yeah, great spooky story. Yep. Who's got one then?
Was that something that actually happened, or is it fiction?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Brilliant. Absolutely
Yeah.
fantastic.
So I've actually met Carl, and Carl does pick up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit do get close to him, which I didn't realise until I actually met him, and we went to Robin Hood in Nottingham. And yeah, Spirit would like hang around. Yeah. So Carl is sensitive. So yeah, I'd like to investigate with Carl again when I can. But yeah, that was good. I will see him at Christmas though, so that'd be great. Yeah, at Derby Jail. So who else has got a story then?
Real quick, I just want to say this. This book this is the original book that inspired the Nightmare Suit books, by the way. This is where
you
it
did
all
a whole
started.
series, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nightmare Soup. Oh, that's cool. So, Mark, you've got a story?
I haven't really had time to do any writing on that because you know what's been going on last weekend.
Yeah, but you've got spooky experience to share, haven't you?
Spooky experiences, yeah. I'll tell you just one quick one. It's actually somewhere Wayne. One of mine. This is somewhere where myself and Wayne are going in December. Rougham Control Tower.
Yeah, I love that.
Our favourite place.
I want to go.
And there were two small groups. One group was outside by the mess hall. They were just having, it was like a cigarette break. I was with another group in one of the Nissan huts. It was hut number 1. And inside, we all heard the sound of this heavy-engined aircraft coming in, and it was getting louder and louder. We flung open the door, thinking there was something coming in, because it is an operational airfield, but it's a flight school these days.
Oh, yeah.
Expecting to see something, and there was nothing. There was no sound, no nothing. The people outside saw and heard nothing.
Wow.
And yeah, that was absolutely amazing. So hopefully more of the same when we go back in December.
Oh, I want to go.
Yeah.
I need to sort it. I really do.
You should. Yeah.
Oh God, next year I'm so booked up now. It's insane. So we're trying to sort things out, but it's just gone a bit through the roof. Hey ho! I did want to put Rougham in there, but I might have blown it. But we'll see. It's time yet. But you also managed to speak Polish on an investigation, didn't you, at Rougham?
No, that was at RAF Neatishead,
was it?
the Radar Museum near Norwich.
Yeah.
And we made contact with it was a Polish woman who was stationed there during the last war, and she actually channeled through me. I don't remember any of this, but the team videoed it, and when they played it back, I thought, my goodness, it was just mind-blowing.
Yeah. I've seen you.
Yeah.
At Church Farm in Skegness, that was brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
I have footage.
You still got it?
Of course I have. Yeah.
I don't know what happened there. Just all hell broke loose in that house.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, it's a farmhouse. It's been probably moved from another location. I think, that might have been the original one. A lot of the buildings at Church Farm have actually been moved from other locations, but this is like an old farmhouse, and it was set up with like period table, chairs, and things like that. It seems calm. It had the odd doll there, didn't it? And just a front room, really. We just sat on at the table, and all of a sudden, you had a gentleman called Ian came through. He was very rude to Emily.
Yeah, he was rude to quite a few people actually.
Oh, okay, I missed that bit.
But I don't remember too much about it because next thing I know, I'm standing outside the house.
Oh wow, okay.
You're flanking me one side, and Emily was the other.
I was probably laughing. I'm always good if someone gets overshadowed. It's brilliant.
And then you showed me that video of what happened inside. Yeah. I could not believe it at all.
Yeah, because when we asked Spirit to step back, you were just that drained. You just collapsed onto a table because it was
Yeah.
really powerful whenever it was, but when it sort of moved away.
Yeah, but after a cup of tea, I was fine again.
Oh God, yeah, we do it all the time, don't we? It's brilliant. I love
That's
it.
why we love doing what we do.
I know, for they're really crazy, and like when certain people get together, it is mad, isn't it? Eileen actually saw Spirit of a Serviceman at Nita said.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome. So Wayne, have you got a story? Silly question.
I've got a couple of very short stories. They're not mine, because mine aren't that short. We haven't got long enough to do my shortest one, so I've found a couple that I was looking for that are really, really short. So I've got a few here.
Awesome.
But this one is basically it's called This New Old House. So we bought an old house, my girlfriend and I, and we were both changing the kitchen into a new master bedroom. While I'm on wallpaper removing duty, the previous owner papered every wall and ceiling. Removing it was brutal, but oddly satisfying. The best feeling is getting a long peel, similar to your skin when you're peeling from a sunburn. I don't know about you, but I kind of make a game of peeling, on the hunt for the longest piece before it rips. Under a corner section of paper in every room is a person's name and date. Curiosity got the better of me one night when I Googled one of the names and discovered the person was actually a missing person. The missing date matched the date under the wallpaper as well. The next day, I made a list of all the names and dates. Sure enough, each name was of a missing person with dates to match. We notified the police, who naturally sent out a crime scene team. And I overheard one text say, "Yup, it's human." Human? What's human? Sir, where is the material you removed from the walls already? This isn't wallpaper you were removing.
Oh.
Play. That's a good one.
That was good.
That's a bloody good choice, that is. I like that.
That's the sort of thing I write, but there you go.
Have you been published?
I'm currently writing my 5th book.
Okay, that's fine. I
and
need
it
to
is-
look for you then.
They are called Spook and Ori.
Okay, brilliant. Like on Amazon or
Yes, on Amazon, which is something I absolutely love because they give me poetic license to sell the books myself.
Mhm.
So they will stock the books and sell them, and I can buy 1,000 books at a time, and I can sell them myself, which obviously is better for me because I've got more of a profit margin. So I'm currently writing my 5th book, which originally was supposed to have been due out for Halloween. Yeah, and oddly
you're
enough,
a perfectionist then, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I originally wrote the book a couple of years ago, but when I looked back at the book itself, the story itself, I wasn't impressed with it. There was bits missing, and there was bits there that could have done with extra material. So I decided to rewrite it, and I kept the original storyline, but just added more to it. So I literally went back in and put in 2 whole new chapters right at the start of the story that weren't there to begin with. So it's been completely overhauled. And the weirdest part of it is it's called Overdue.
Oh yeah, and it is.
And
Look
it
forward
is.
to it.
But I think it's with reason. It's because I do want it to be perfect.
Why am I not surprised?
You lie, Eileen. You lie. But you know,
Come on, Eileen.
And I think as well, to be honest, you can tell because when you look at the first book I released, A Whistle from the Hills, and that was based in Crete. And when you read that book, you will find spelling mistakes. There are spelling mistakes in there. I'm not going to hide from that. There are spelling mistakes, but I don't know how they skipped past me when I was proofreading them. And spell check never found them either. And someone did call me out on it, and they did write that the actual story itself was a really good story, but there were a few spelling mistakes. The good thing about that is if I wanted to, I can resubmit a new manuscript. So I can find those spelling mistakes, correct them, and submit them back again, and it will all be fine. But in a way, I think when it says, instead of it saying face to face, it says face to cafe.
Okay.
Something that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I was reading it live a couple of weeks ago that I actually read it as it was written.
Shit.
And I went,
That's great.
face to cafe. What? Face to face.
I love
That's
it. That's
great.
fantastic.
That is
But-
great.
The thing is as the books have progressed, the spelling mistakes have gone, and the books have got bigger and bigger each time. And this one being the 5th book is going to be even bigger than Cricket and Job Done, which were the biggest ones so far. So yeah, I mean, eventually it's you know, I've had people say I'm the next Ray Bradbury, or I'm in UK's version of Stephen King, and I'm just like, no, don't. You're talking rubbish.
Yeah,
There
great.
is no way I would ever class myself as anything remotely near that sort of caliber. You know, I just write stories because I enjoy writing them.
Yeah.
But
Hello, Rochelle, from Mississippi.
Yeah. It's a bit away from you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's way down south where I'm at. It's like that's at least 2 or 3 states away south from me.
That's one of my best friends.
Oh, cool. That's smart. Thanks for joining us. So, has anybody else got any stories then?
I actually got, if you don't mind, I got another one here, but it's not only creepy, it's funny too.
Okay, then.
So
Go on,
this story is called The Bad News. Leon and Todd loved baseball. When they were young, they had played on the town's baseball team. Leon had been the pitcher, and Todd had played second base. Now that they were a lot older, they spent their free time watching baseball games on TV and talking about baseball. Do you think they play baseball in heaven? Leon asked one day. That's a good question, said Todd. The one who gets there first should let the other one know somehow. As it turned out, Todd got to heaven first, and Leon waited patiently to hear from him. One day, Leon found Todd sitting in the living room waiting for him. Leon was very excited to see him. What is it like up there? He asked. And what about baseball? When it comes to baseball, said Todd, I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is that we do play baseball in heaven. We have some fine teams. I play second base on my team, just like I used to in the old days. That's the good news. What's the bad news? Asked Leon. The bad news, said Todd, is that you are scheduled to pitch tomorrow.
I like it.
That's cool. Has anybody got any other spooky stories?
I have another one, but I don't know. I don't think it's that gory, to be honest.
Go on.
It's just me. This is called Guardians.
Good time in the US, isn't it? It's about what?
It's about to be 4 o'clock over here. I'm central.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Nice story.
Okay, well, this one's called Guardians. So he awoke to the huge insect-like creatures looming over his bed and screamed his lungs out. They hastily left the room and he stayed up all night, shaking and wondering if it had been all a dream. The next morning, there was a tap on the door. Gathering his courage, he opened it to see one of them gently place a plate filled with fried breakfast onto the floor, then retreat to a safe distance. Bewildered, he accepted the gift. The creatures chittered excitedly. This happened every day for weeks. At first, he was worried they were fattening him up. But after a particularly greasy breakfast left him clutching his chest from heartburn, they were replaced with fresh fruit. As well as cooking, they poured hot, steamy baths for him and even tucked him in when he went to bed. It was bizarre. One night, he awoke to gunshots and screaming. He raced downstairs to find a decapitated burglar being devoured by the insects. He was sickened, but disposed of the remains as best he could. He knew they had just been protecting him. One morning, the creatures wouldn't let him leave his room. He lay down confused, but trusting as they ushered him back into bed. Whatever their motives, they weren't going to hurt him. Hours later, a burning pain spread throughout his body. It felt like his stomach was filled with razor wire. The insects chittered as he spasmed and moaned. It was only when he felt a terrible squirming feeling beneath his skin that he realized the insects hadn't been protecting him. They had been protecting their young.
Oh, grim.
I know exactly what legend that is based off of, because guess what? There's a story like that in this book too.
Oh,
Except it's
wow.
involving spiders.
I've seen something in real life which is really gross. So
Yeah.
it's in Venezuela, and I thought it was a fly, and it's above a spider, and it's actually a blue wasp. And what it does, it injects a spider, tarantula,
Yes.
and lays its eggs in there.
Oh,
And I
nice.
saw that in real life. I was like, "Oh, you stupid fly! What are you doing near that great big tarantula?" Because I hate spiders, and you're out in the jungle near a waterfall, and it's like, oh shit, great big spider here, tarantula, and like, it's not in a glass case or anything. I'm right near it. But then I was just fascinated about this blue fly, which, yeah, it's a blue wasp, and it's like the third of the size of a tarantula, and it managed to drag it back to its nest. So yeah, actually seeing nature is like, wow,
Yeah.
it's impressive, isn't it? But yeah. It's a genius, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. That's the scariest
Like
part.
food. It's fresh. But grim.
Very fresh.
Well, it's scary. It's really scary in a way that knowing that, because I remember hearing this from a documentary about a year ago, that even as human beings, basically, we're all just kind of walking in this really flat skin suit, that we all wear, of course, not realizing, how incredibly vulnerable you really are to such, terrible diseases or pests or infestations or anything. It's like, that's the creepy. And if you kind of think about it too, because we see all these movies and stories about like all these insects and creatures that inhabit us, if you kind of think about, even we're considered invasions of a human body. I mean, we're all born in a womb, so we're kind of invaders ourselves.
I didn't see it like that, but yeah.
It's kind of true.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a different perspective, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, the world is a fascinating place, isn't it? And you've got to make the most of every day. I'm from Nottingham, and an ice hockey guy just died at the weekend, just a skating accident, and it's just bloody shocking, isn't it? He's just taking part in a live ice hockey match versus Panthers, and yeah, it sliced his throat, didn't he, with the blade thing? So.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, you've got to make the most of everything, haven't you?
Yeah.
But but we know, yeah, it's a shocker, and then, yeah, you just don't know. So you just got to make the most of everything, and and we sort of do what we do when we speak to people who've passed one way or another, don't we? And if in any way we can help, we do, don't we? We just try and find out the stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's about, remembering them.
Yeah, that's right. And Helena, you've got a lot of stories, haven't you? Because you sort of have a few who follow you around frequently.
Yeah, like the
Your
one that we're
guides.
shut up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that one.
Yeah. So yeah, Helena's got some guides who just like follow her around, and They're always there for you, aren't they? One way or another.
Will and my twins.
Yeah.
Not my twins personally, but they are twins.
Yeah. That's it. And it's just fascinating, and what we sort of uncover on our path. And without this path, I wouldn't have met any of you.
No.
No,
My
it's
problem is, because I have been in their world in this life, it's now blurred. Like I'm half in their world, half in the living world, because I've blurred that line between me and the spirit world at least 3 times in this lifetime so far. I mean, I nearly died having Bowie.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of blurred it. So to me, that half the time they just look like regular people now. It's to the point that I will walk around them if we're out, and I will walk around them, because to me they look like normal people, and it's not until I get near them do I realise they're not.
Oh wow.
I've been known to grab handbrakes in cars because someone's run out in front of the car, and I've done an emergency stop until I suddenly realise that person's actually a dead person and they're not alive, but they looked it to me.
That's well scary, isn't it?
Hence why I don't drive.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It you know, everyone's got like their own abilities, haven't they? And it's to be able to associate the two worlds for you. It is. God.
I'm just used to it now.
Yeah, I'll sort that out, Carl, no problem. But yeah, it's fascinating. It really is. Oh,
I'm pretty sure I'm already friends with you.
Who said, you know, when you said, I'm pretty sure I'm friends with you, who said yeah?
What?
You said, I'm sure I'm friends with you. And then I heard the word yeah. And it wasn't any of us.
I heard it too, but I thought it was feedback from somewhere.
I thought it was feedback too.
It just seemed to be yeah. Nobody said yeah. I don't know.
You'll have to look back after we're done with this, Jacqueline. So
Yeah,
at least we got it marked. It was like 1 minute after the hour.
The last time we had a show, something decided to fly past me.
Wow.
Yeah.
It happens a lot.
Well, it's like last week, it was just not long after my dad's birthday. My dad's birthday was October 19th. And I had the cat ball, and it's going right through the show. It was going insane. And I knew it was my dad. And it was like, it just wouldn't stop flashing. And it's the same cat ball, same position. And nothing's happening tonight. And it's weird, isn't it? But yeah, he sort of, he made his presence known. I went to the fair with my sister on his birthday. And he made his presence known there. And then he does love cat balls. So as soon as he got the opportunity, Derby Jail, he got it. I got it out at Derby Jail, and he came through there. My dad did. So I said, "Hold on, Dad. You know, I'll get the ball out at home." And then, like, I do a podcast last week, and he was chatting on that. Yeah, kitty ball, Eileen. We do live our kitty balls, don't we? What can you say? But yeah, that will go on running forever. If you know, you know. We're not bothered. But yeah.
That's along the same lines as that new hobby that everybody's starting to take up, isn't it? In the paranormal world.
Oh yeah.
Something, was it knitting?
Yeah, I quit my knitting a while ago.
I'm not saying anymore. That's it. I'm off to something.
Oh God, yeah. Eileen has a brilliant makes these lovely t-shirts, and yeah, Eileen certainly has got a t-shirt.
I mean,
yeah,
let's not forget, like, we have to keep the cat balls for the cat ghosts.
Yeah, that's it.
And the dog balls.
I don't want to know what you're doing with dog balls.
They're not flashing, for God's sake.
No, the dog balls are better than cat balls because they're spiky. So they tend to hold their own on a flat surface. They don't just randomly roll off.
Well, that don't
So it
roll.
actually takes a lot more energy to move a dog ball than it does a cat ball.
Oh.
Really?
It's in a glass thing, you see. It's there. But yeah, it's gone quiet tonight.
I could make so many inappropriate jokes right now, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I know. Really.
I'm
As soon as you
struggling.
mention them, that's it, isn't it? Really. It's just one of them. So, Mandy, have you got Ghost Walk this weekend? Oh, here we go.
No, I was at Sandwell Park Farm with Wednesbury last night.
They did 3 nights.
They did indeed, yeah. And I went along on the final night and I did a history talk, basically not giving names, but of the accounts and occurrences that had happened on the site. And I mean, I did say to the lads, I could have basically given them another 5, 6, 7, 8 pages of incidents, occurrences, accidents, and natural deaths. Place is just bloody phenomenal. And you saying about being scared, I mean, how can I put it? I don't scare easily when we do our invests with PMV. You know, I'm quite marching. I'll happily walk around in the dark by myself. You know, this, that, and the other. But there was a part when we were out in like the courtyard bit, and one of the girls had gone to the loo, and I was checking on her, and it was just having that real overwhelming sense of being followed, and I don't know, something dark and looming. That the energy there is less about farms, less about the asylum, less about mining, less about the hall and the priory. There's a very dark energy at Sandwell. There really is. And I mean, what I found that there was a lot of suicides that had been done by slitting their own throats, which to me, you normally expect a hanging or, you know, worst case scenario, a shooting, but you wouldn't expect,
Yeah, I know. It's
slitting your own throat. So I just got the sense of ritualistic bloodletting, feeding the land, kind of pagan, darker gods. So yeah, I mean, I don't scare easy, but I nearly ran back to the vigil when I couldn't find the girl, because it was, you just got a sense that there's something there, and it was like, fuck that. And so I ran as quick as I could. Yeah, sorry to swear.
You really don't know, because there's one night, you know, it's Dark Soul Paranormal at the time. That's split up. It's now Spirit UK, and they booked this. It was a village hall. I think at one stage it was used as a school. You know, so you think, oh, it's going to be easy. You know, get a few kids coming through. You know, not many houses. Maybe 100 to 200 people live there. It was hell. There was a strong pagan there, the ancient or something, and my God, it picked on all of us, and we all felt ill after it as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. You get we call it like the paranormal hangover, don't you? It's the energy drain.
Oh, it was a week. For the whole week, all of us sort of had this coldy flu thing. We were all ill, but it wasn't like your normal cold. It was we were that drained and stuff over what had happened that night, because you know, and we really didn't expect that. You don't, do you? And you don't.
I wanted to ask Mark a question, actually. Excuse me. I had an incident where I didn't channel, but I lost 30 minutes an event, and I didn't believe we'd gone to a location when we hadn't. It was only when I saw video footage that I realised, oh yeah, I have been there. I can't remember a thing about it. Now, you explained that you channeled a Polish lady. Can I just ask, what was it like for you? Do you recall anything about it? Do you know what happened to those 30 minutes whilst you weren't there? I'm just curious about that.
No. Don't remember anything about it. There was a team member present with me. She recorded it on her phone and played it back to me later on when we went downstairs. And yeah, I was just blown away. I mean, I can speak English and Welsh, but Polish certainly isn't one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just amazing. It's actually the same location where, I think it was last year, we saw a full-bodied apparition in one of the corridors.
Right.
And that was during a team share. And the other team saw him too. So that's two separate teams.
Yeah.
Loads of witnesses.
Yeah, exactly.
And this figure was in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I always sense when there's something coming in, though. Like last night, I took part in the Demon Connections going out onto Ghost Planet Network last night, where basically they tried to speak to the demons of Loudon, and it was interesting, very interesting, and it went live onto Ghost Planet Network, and it is going to be uploaded as filmed, so it will be up there soon, and I do want to watch back. But there's this guy next door to me, and I knew something was behind him. You know what I mean? And I just, you can't really move, but I was like, oh, okay, because I just knew there's something really dark around him.
Yeah.
And then he sort of acknowledged that as well.
Mm.
So I do, and like when sometimes with Mark, I've known like something really dark, or anybody really, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if a guide just come in and go, oh, watch this.
Yeah.
It's weird how you sense these things, but then like that time when it was Church Farm and Mark, his eyes, oh my god, his eyes were staring at me. He's like, wow, if looks could kill, I would have been dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But his eyes were open. He was talking, and you're not sure he's not. You don't know. You don't realise he's not there. It's
they
weird.
Were black, weren't they? Apparently.
Yeah, they look black. Oh my god,
Yeah.
the way he looked at me was.
Well, you played it back to me.
Yeah,
my eyes do that as well.
That was awful.
I did that at the National Justice Museum as well. So I do have an issue there, to be fair. But I was not. It's not when I went with Mark. Well, I was there with the Parafest. It's the Brian J. Kano one anyway. So I went into the ladies' room where I had an issue last time I went, and I got a strong spirit pick on me, who I think I know who it is, obviously, and I knew why he was there, which is probably even more why so, because that I actually clipped another string to his disgusting bow, to be fair. And he got really close to me, so I managed to walk from a drunk person from that room up to the top, which was upstairs, round corners, and it's quite a route really from that room in the basement to the base room at the top. And then I walked in the room and Viv Power marched me out because my eyes were black. So yeah, I just got marched out. Like, no, I'm all right. No, you're right. That's not you. I knew it weren't me, but you're just trying to, it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, it is weird when you've got something around you, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I don't know, you kind of don't know about it. I don't know. It's weird. You sort of know, but you don't. I don't know.
I mean, we've had, when we were investigating, this is when we investigated Readout Fault, the one in Harwich. I miss AJ.
Oh.
Stating that
I did.
fact.
I did send AJ your regards.
I miss my AJ. I love him so much. I mean, if we're going to be honest, he's a drunken arse, but no, he is. He is. Why do you think he's in the cell? Because he's a drunken arse.
So who was AJ then? What's his story?
He was a military spirit that managed to get drunk more than once, got in shit for it, got put in the cell, died of alcohol poisoning. But he's one of the nicest guys I've ever spoke to. We go in to read out Fault, I go to sleep. Like, if I'm going to go sleep anywhere, I'm going to sleep with AJ. I'm going in the cell. Lock me in the cell. I'm going to sleep with AJ. I don't care. Leave me. If I disappear on that investigation, I'm with AJ. Don't worry about it.
He's safe.
I'll just disappear. I'm with AJ. And a lot of people go, oh, I don't know how you can sit in the cells on your own. And I'm like, because it's AJ. I'm not. Nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But because he's drunk, hilarious. We've had team members go in there and do lone vigils and come out and they're wasted.
Yeah.
And it's just the funniest thing to see.
Yeah.
Because they come out and it is literally like they're wasted. But what we've done, especially in that cell, obviously you've got the arsehole. We all know Jones. Who thinks he's scary, but he's not.
Do you know that one, Wayne?
Jones, the one in Jones' room.
No.
He's an arse. He actually scratched our team members.
Oh gosh.
And we've got it on camera where they're just sitting there, and then out of nowhere they've got these scratches down their back.
Oh wow.
Well, maybe that was the same spirit that threw a mannequin dummy at me about 8 years ago.
Might have been. Have you met the spirit that's got shell shock and he's got the mind of a child?
No. I've only ever met
cute.
The one I call Klaus. Is the one that I met in cell 2, and I made the mistake of saying "Das Luftwaffe ist kaputt."
Yeah,
and
that was your mistake.
We had a trigger object on the bed, and it was one of the boxing ring sensor things, and the investigator that was with me, Claire, she put the ball in the middle of the boxing ring thing, put it on the bed, set the alarm on it, but so it had this little red flashing light on each corner. So of course I'm standing in the doorway. Claire, the other investigator, she's sitting in the corner at the table, and this mannequin dummy's like 12, 13 foot away from me, sitting in the opposite corner. And I just said, "Das Luftwaffe ist kaputt," and that was it. And everything just went dead quiet. And then all of a sudden, Claire turned around to me and said, "You know what? Every time the red lights flash, the mannequin's moving." Wow. So I'm standing there in the doorway, I'm looking, and I'm really, really trying to focus on this mannequin dummy moving. And I went, "No, that's not moving." I said, "But it's too quiet. I don't like it. Something is building. Something's going to happen." And just as I said that, the mannequin just literally came boom straight at me. I've gone, "Oh my God." I've grabbed it. I've grabbed it by the shoulders. The head's come falling off and landed at my feet. I'm playing football with the head of this mannequin dummy.
Wow.
Claire, the other investigator, she jumped up off that the chair. She went, "F that, I'm not here for this," and boom, she was gone.
Wow.
She left me in the cell on my own. And I'm like, "Will someone want to come and help me here? I've got a mannequin in one hand, the head's rolling across the floor by my foot." Luckily, there was 3 investigators in cell 3, and they were doing dowsing rods, and they were filming it. And as they're standing there, they'd already asked the yes/no question.
Yeah.
And they were saying, "If there are any spirits in here with us, can you please cross the rods?" And as the rods cross, you hear the girl say, "F that, I'm not here for this." And they've turned the camera, and you see her sprinting down the corridor and out into the courtyard. And this little white light comes out of the cell and follows her out into the courtyard.
Oh wow!
And ever since then, every time I go to Harwich, I always go to cell 2 and I say hello to Klaus. Me and Klaus get on like house on fire now.
That's like me and AJ.
Me saying "Das Luftwaffe ist kaputt" was just like a
Break the ice.
I don't know, military camaraderie, because I'm ex-Royal Air Force.
Got you.
There you go.
So there was this bond between me and Klaus, and every time I go in now, I always go and say hello to him. And
I have to.
I always tend to get a reaction from it. And even Saturday when I went in there, you can't go into cell 1 or 2 anymore. They've locked them. So you can only physically go into cell 3 now.
Yeah, that's the AJ cell at the back.
And that's full of, oddly enough, that's full of mannequins.
Oh, I bet he's pissed off with that.
And I did a lone vigil in it, and no word of a lie. This goes back to what Mark experienced at Ruffin Control Tower. We all were told to pick a room of our own to go into on our own for an experiment. So we said, right, okay. When it was last used properly by the military in the Second World War, it was a coastal defence. So it was anti-aircraft battery. So we're all in these individual rooms. Me, I've made a beeline. I've gone straight to the cell block. I'm at the bottom of cell 3, wondering what was going to happen next. Then all of a sudden, and this is midnight, bear in mind, an air raid siren goes off.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God.
We are waiting to hear on the local Facebook pages and the local newspaper about an air raid siren going off on Saturday night. Just before midnight, someone cranked up an air raid siren in the courtyard. So all you heard was that going off. But over that, me and 2 others swear blind, they heard heavy bombers flying over.
Oh, jeez.
We've had that.
At the same time, the air raid siren was going off, and you heard that really low drone, and it was like going through a time slip. I felt as if I was back in World War II, and I expected to walk out into the courtyard and look up and see the silhouettes of the bombers being caught in the searchlights.
Oh my gosh.
That was how it got to you, just that
Wow.
sound.
That's
We've heard that. We did an investigation of an abandoned airfield where my spirit guide was, and we were sitting there just talking. And the weird thing about the airfield is they don't know me by my name now. They know me by my name from a past life, and they only know me as Belle. They don't know me as anything else. We're sitting there and we're all talking. I mean, this was during the day when we went to get shots so we could make an episode. We're talking and we're just walking around. There's me, there's my husband, there's our one of our friends. We're just wandering around, and all we heard was a B-17 coughing, like when you start and they cough. We could hear it, and everyone else panicked, but to me it was relaxing. It took me back, and I was like, oh, I miss this. This is home to me. But during the night, everyone was panicking. It's dark. There's woodlands. It's all underground, and there's me just walking through like it's home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because
Beautiful.
to me, I was happy there, and I think I'll always be happy there. It's one of the places that I can just go to, and I don't care if I'm on my own. I'll just be there, and it's one place where I can smile and I can relax and just not worry.
It's great to have a link with a past life, which is like that, though.
Yeah.
There's a few locations. Like, obviously, you've got the airfield where they only know me as Belle. Mitchell Priory, the spirits there only know me as Lily. They don't know me as anything else. They only know me as Lily. We've investigated that into the double figures, and they only know me as Lily. From day one, it was Lily. It was never anything else. It was always like the first night we were there, Chris used to own it, used to run it, and Chris has left now. But the first night we were there, he gave us a walkie because he was upstairs, and he's like, if you get locked out or anything, radio through to me. And we're investigating, and the walkie's in the main foyer, it's like the Undercroft. I don't know if any of you ever been to the Priory, but it's an Undercroft. And the walkie-talkie's in the Undercroft, but it's turned off. But Chris is upstairs, and on his walkie-talkie, he's got voices coming through saying, "Lily's come home." And none of us were there.
Oh gosh, it's
But
amazing.
he's got voices going, "Lily's come home. Lily's home now."
Oh.
And they had a resident medium there called Roy. He's passed away now. I loved him. But when I first met him, he was a tour guide, and he had to show some guests another part of the Priory, and he turned around and went, "Stay with her, because she knows more about this building than any of us does."
Wow.
And he left me given a tour of the Priory. We had
incredible.
Me and Alex went during the day just to go and visit, because it's another place that feels like home to me. And this old man come up to us. We were going upstairs, and this old man walked up to us, and he stopped me, and he was like, "You got out of your dress quickly." And I was like, "Excuse me?" He was like, "You got out of your Victorian dress quickly. Have you finished playing the piano now?" Wasn't me. Wasn't me. It was obviously Lily. But he was literally like, "Have you finished playing now?" I was like, "Wasn't me, mate." He was like, "But it was you. I saw you." And he was arguing with me over whether or not it was me. I was like, "No, I'd know if it was me."
Oh, yeah. No, it's just your story is fascinating, isn't it? And like Carl as well. Carla's got the weirdest thing going on. Like a few mediums have told him not to do his past life. So something happened so bad.
Some people, yes, it's not. Remembering
told
your
him
past
to
life
leave it.
isn't easy. It's not like all sunshines and rainbows. You remember the deaths. You remember shit that's gone wrong. And it's not fun, and it can hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And you end up mourning people from that life because you're never going to see them again. They're dead.
Yeah, I've got a bit of an issue with mine, and Mandy knows. And I need to do a past life, and I need the regression to go right to the grim end. Because Mandy's actually solved the mystery of what my grim end is.
Yeah, we think we have now, don't we?
So you have. It's gone. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
So Gary Fields basically said I was hung in 1868. He linked in once when I was at the National Justice Museum. We're going back there on the 10th of November. I can't wait. I know a lot more now, thanks to Mandy. I know the judge's name, the guy. Yeah. And yeah, I used to work for the judge in a past life. So it's going to be an interesting night.
Yeah. But I wonder how you're going to be once you know you've solved it.
I have solved it. It's gone. It's gone now.
Mm.
It has, like, my mediumship went really ropey recently. Like, I wasn't picking up on stuff. And now since that moment, it's clear again. I'm connecting better again.
That's good. So it's freeing almost.
Yeah. So it's really weird how, I don't know what happened. But yeah. So, yeah, I am
Happy to help.
interested in what happened. I need to sort it. Yeah. Eileen, she's got several past lives according to Robbie, a witch, murderer, son who went down on a ship, and young girl, First World War. Wow. So far I've had 2, and they're a bit shitty, to be fair. But we'll see. I don't know if I've got a happy one, but
I think my past life was a bit crappy as well, to be honest.
Yeah. Well,
apparently I died on the beaches at Dunkirk.
Oh,
which
gosh.
explains a lot about me, because obviously when I left school, I joined the Royal Air Force. I've always been into military history, especially World War II. You know, I always felt that there was a connection. And then when I moved into my sister's house, because she moved to Corfu, I rented her house out to her, from her. And strange things started happening in the house. And I managed to get in contact with a medium who'd seen my ex-girlfriend's mum. And the things she'd come out with was so spot on, especially as she didn't know anything about my ex's mum. And the fact that they'd only been living in the house for, I think they moved in the September, and she had the reading done at the end of October. And the lady had said that she'd got, you look out of her kitchen window to their back garden, and you've got nothing but farmers' fields at the end of the garden with a wood at the end and a view of the river. Now, this could have been anywhere. And for some unknown reason, the edges of her garden would be yellow in the spring. And of course, when spring came around, all these daffodils came up in the garden. They moved in sort of September, October time. They didn't know there was going to be bulbs in there. But she was right. So I contacted this lady. She didn't want to know she didn't want to know my full name. She just wanted my first name and she would catch a bus, and I would meet her at a neutral place and walk her to my house. So she didn't know where, she couldn't research anything about my house. But within 5 minutes of walking in through the back door, she'd already had Joanne, which was the name I'd already been given, through, I don't know whether to me at the time it felt silly, but I was talking to her. And I'd given her the name Joanne. And this lady had then said Joanne. By the time it had finished, it turned out that I was her dead husband. And she'd been at the house waiting for me to arrive to come home. But of course, I never did come home because I died in Dunkirk. And according to this lady, wherever I go, she'll follow. And we've moved twice since, 3 times, sorry. And she's followed me everywhere I've gone.
It is incredible. It really
But
is.
it just explains to me, you know, everything sort of all fell into place once you told me all this information. Everything then had a reason. You know, why was I so fascinated with World War II? Why couldn't I have been fascinated in, I don't know, the Roman era and the Roman conquests, or the British Empire in general, and or something completely different? But it had to be specifically World War II.
Amazing.
And the Dunkirk beaches and Normandy, I seem to have an infinity with. I'm just amazed by that whole area.
You've been, have you?
That explained it.
You spent much time there?
I'm currently planning, because not only have I got myself to go, my son Ethan wants to go, and my sister's boyfriend Spiros wants to go as well. So we're trying to organise a massive thing where we're going to literally go from one end of the Normandy beaches and right the way through, and we're going to stop everywhere en route.
Amazing, yeah. I stayed near Omaha Beach, so it's like the Canadian sort of the beaches that the Canadians are on. But yeah, it's it's amazing, and you know you've got the original sort of lookouts, you know, a lot of original things there from
I think we stopped at one when I was in secondary school. We did a trip to the 2K, and the coach stopped at one of these places on the way down.
Yeah.
And we literally had about 45 minutes there as a quick stop off, and then we back on the coach, and we never really got the chance to sort of have the time to have a good walk around.
Yeah.
But this particular gun emplacement was one that never had a gun in it. They built the mount for it, and they built the surround for it, but they never actually physically put a gun inside. So it was just left as an empty shell.
Yeah, there are loads of them up the coastline, but you know, I don't know if they were used or whether But we've got to end now. But I want to thank everybody. It has been lovely. It's been a great night. I hope everyone has a great Halloween. Next week I've got a very special guest, Gwen Akora. So it's going to be so lovely to speak to Gwen, and I'm sure we'll hear a few stories. So, yes, Wayne. Yeah. But yeah, so it will be an interesting conversation. And she says she might not hold back, so it will be very interesting. But yeah, so next week, Mrs. Gwen Akora. So, oh yeah, you can mention haggis to Gwen. Yeah, so yeah, I'm really honoured. It's actually Sarah Wyman who sort of said, "Oh, ask her," because I met her on Friday the 13th. She said, "Oh, ask her to come on a podcast." And the following week, I've got "Are You Haunted?" So yeah, I've got a great couple of weeks coming up. But yeah, I want to thank Mandy West, Haunted Historian, Wayne from Spookanori, Nick Mulae from the Things That Work, and loads on the things, and Mark Dudley from Black Shuck Paranormal, and Helena, a fantastic artist. Yes, you are. I love your images. Yeah, I've got Phil Wyman as well. We'll be speaking to Phil, but yeah. So take care, everyone. Look after yourselves. Have a wonderful Halloween. Okay. Bye.
Happy Halloween.
Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Bye.
Happy Halloween. It's nearly